Bodybuilding, the practice of strengthening and enlarging the muscles of the body through exercise. One of the hardest, most undervalued and stereotyped sports on the planet. There is also a very common lack of knowledge around bodybuilding. I'm Martin Jamieson, and I'm here to prove to you that there is a lot more to bodybuilding, and not everything is as it seems, both physically and mentally. I started working out at the age of 16, but when I was 18 years old, that's when my strong interest in bodybuilding began, and I stuck hard at it. 4 years later, I'm still bodybuilding, and although I'm not at all a professional, I do have a strong interest in the sport, so much so that I want to share the knowledge of professional bodybuilder Andrew McGee. As a former heating and welding engineer, Andrew has been dedicating himself to bodybuilding after boxing at the age of 18. He enjoys the sport so much. At 22 years old, Andrew has given up his job to open up his own gym, Smoking Guns Fitness, and dedicate his lifestyle to bodybuilding. So is bodybuilding really that hard? To find out, I pay Andrew a visit at Smoking Guns Fitness, and I squeeze as much knowledge out of Andrew as I possibly can.
The reason I want to bodybuild is because, for me, team sports has never been a thing that I've enjoyed. I've always been a kind of singular guy as far as training goes and stuff like that. So it's continual progression for me. Every day I'm waking up with a purpose. Every day I'm able to progress further than what I was the day before, and I'm always able to better myself. It's one of those things, I never set a limitation, because two things. One, you're going to limit how big that you're actually going to get in your mind, so you're always going to have that restriction or that barrier. Number two, I know that even if I did get to a certain limitation as far as size went, I would hit that and then I would say, okay, where am I going to go from here? So I don't like to limit how big I'm going to get. I'm just seeing how it goes and just continually moving towards it.
Ironically enough, not all of the bodybuilding sport revolves around the body, but a lot to do with mentality. We've all been to a gym and seen that guy, Mr. Beautiful, checking himself over in the mirror over and over again obsessively. Although he may be a conceited ass, not everything is what it seems. Mental health experts have learned that it is very likely this guy is sick and suffering from a body dysmorphic disorder called muscle dysmorphia or bigorexia. McLean's psychiatric research leaders in Belmont, Massachusetts, describes muscle dysmorphia as a sort of reverse anorexia, where these muscular men will look in the mirror and see themselves as out of shape. Their constant preoccupation with smallness will make them exceedingly self-conscious. Rightly or wrongly, anabolic steroids and other muscle-building drugs play a large role in today's ultra-competitive sporting arena by helping to create the type of physique seen on stage at both professional and amateur bodybuilding levels.
So the main side effects are circulation problems that can lead to heart attack ultimately in later life, androgynous changes in the body, so when you can have induced premature baldness, increased body hair, men can actually develop breast tissue from it, and females on the opposite can get permanent deepening of the vocal cords and gain more body hair as well. In addition to the fact that when you take it orally, it stays in the body for a very long time because it's a fat, so your body tries to make it more available, and it means that it's constantly trying to be degraded by the liver, and it causes a lot of liver damage.
In sports, I don't agree with anabolic steroids in sports that basically outlaw them. So any kind of boxing, any kind of sport basically, steroids shouldn't be a part of. You get bodybuilding where you get tested and untested shows. I know people that do both, and again, I don't advocate the use of steroids, but I'm not completely against them.
Andrew is proof that a good physique can be built without their use, but for those who choose to take their physical development to new heights, drug use in conjunction with adequate training and dietary practices is often viewed as the answer. When it comes to bodybuilding, the training really does become a serious matter, more so than what people expect. It is almost unbelievable what bodybuilders will endure in their training, including injuries, and that is exactly why people really shouldn't underestimate the sport.
The first major injury I had in all years of training was my left arm. I'd actually tore the muscle and decided to work through the muscle, through the workout, over a period of a couple of weeks, and whilst doing heavy bench, the tricep totally torn too, and I actually stretched into the bicep as well. So it was a case of, right out the hospital, surgeons opened my arm up from the shoulder to the elbow, like a carpet, folded it back, and stitched the two parts together again. It makes for a neat injury as in to show off to family members, but it's not recommended. I was also advised about to train again, but as muscle heads know, that's never going to happen.
I tore my tendon off of the bone, which required surgery. I had to get 2 incisions, the tendon pulled down, drilled through the elbow bone and suturing the tendon back in with a titanium anchor. That set me out for a long time. That was straight after the Scottish and British Championships, which I did really well in. I was second in the country and top 5 in the nation, and then I had that injury happen, so that kind of screwed me over. But the thing is, for me, is coming back from that. This year, when I do compete on stage in 5.5 weeks' time, I'll have come back from the orthopaedic surgeons telling me, number 1, I'll never bodybuild again, number 2, don't start training, and the list goes on. And it's one of those things where when I had the surgery, I went into the hospital bathroom at 2 a.m, couldn't sleep after the surgery. Post-surgery pain was just excruciating. Took a picture in the whole hospital gown and things and bandaged up, and I said to myself, okay, I know for a fact that I'm going to be standing back on stage again with this arm healed in better condition than before, and that's effectively what's going to happen in 5.5 weeks' time.
It can be safely said that one of the toughest aspects of bodybuilding is in fact a bodybuilding competition and the physical and mental training that is required for a competition. So what exactly is a bodybuilding competition and what does it entail?
Basically what a bodybuilding competition is, you've got a group of guys that are up on stage against each other and they're battling it out to see who has the best physique overall. The criteria that it's judged on is muscular size, definition, proportion, symmetry and conditioning. Conditioning being how low of a body fat percentage that you actually are. I was consuming copious amounts of water, 25 litres a day, 5 gallons a day, and that was very, very hard for me to do. I felt as though effectively I was drowning. I felt as though I was on a boat. But it's one of those things where, for me personally, I've came so far as the prep goes, as far as the show goes, that I'm not willing to do anything that could cause an error in my condition or my presentation on that stage.
Bodybuilders are remarkable specimens. It could be said that they are works of art. And just maybe, at least one of them will see this and realise that a small group of individuals came together to show that we never overlooked their hardship